How does it feel to be like the Golda Meir of Jewish bacon?
I don't know. It's really nice.
Give me the recipe. What do you think we need to be doing more?
Being loud, being visible.
You were hit by a drunk driver and had severe hand damage.
If I could give everybody in the world the perfect Reuben,
How are you going to hate Jews after
you
that?
can't.
Yo, welcome everybody. Settle in, because this one's about to get tasty. My guest today is an absolute master of his craft, and he's hosted, competed on, or judged like a dozen TV shows to prove it. We also weirdly have a lot in common. His great-grandma is from Wichita, Kansas. My great-mom is also from Wichita, Kansas. His world-famous bakery is in Baltimore. My world-famous dad is from Baltimore. He grew up in a town called Sandwich. I grew up in a town and just ate a sandwich. He's married to someone named Jonah. My wife is married to someone named Jonah. Weekly shout out to Courtney. He's a woodworking virtuoso, a brilliant visual artist, a Guinness World Record holder, and plays bass guitar in a band. I also have ADHD. Please welcome the king of confection, the sultan of sweet, the ace of cakes himself, Mr. Duff Goldman.
Oh my God. Okay, can I record that?
Yes.
That needs to be my new intro. That was amazing.
Thank you.
You make me sound so cool.
You
That
are
was great.
cool,
No,
man.
Not.
You got a lot going on. I mean, just
do.
looking into all the stuff, you do 100 different things. You got 4 different Instagram channels. You got a YouTube channel. You got 10 TV shows. I mean, you're just doing a lot of stuff.
You got a lot of irons in the fire, right?
Clearly, you're just a creative, artistic soul from when you were young. You've been doing all kinds of different things.
Yeah, it's my whole family, right? My great-grandmother was a weaver. She was a milliner. She made ladies' hats. My grandmother was an enamel smith and a silversmith and a photographer, really good photographer.
Amazing.
My mom did ceramics for a long time, and then she switched to stained glass. Now she makes mosaics.
Oh, cool. So did you bring any cake with you?
I did not.
Get out.
All right. See ya. Thanks.
Whenever a show needs a Jewish baker, they call you. You judged Food Network's Ultimate Hanukkah Challenge.
Good.
You competed on Guys Grocery Games, Home Delivery All-Star Hanukkah.
Yeah.
Right?
No problem.
How does it feel to be like the Golda Meir of Jewish bacon?
Oh, that's ridiculous. I don't know. It's really nice. It's nice because it's an honest, real point of view that I have. I have opinions about Ruggles.
Yeah,
right? I do.
yeah.
I have opinions about black and white cookies. I think about them. And it's good to have that point of view. I think because to sort of showcase our culture, showcase the things that we grew up eating and how we feel they should be done. And have you ever gotten into the conversation of, well, my mom's brisket, ... right?
Of course.
We're Jews. We love to argue.
Mhm.
We love to talk about stuff. And we all know that our moms make the best brisket, which is funny because in my case, it's actually true.
Okay.
But
How do you
it's
know?
science.
How can you prove it?
Because of, I'm TV's Duff Gold.
That's
I-
right.
I
Okay,
know-
fair.
I know what good food
You can
is.
judge.
I've had other briskets. They're fine.
What makes your mom so special?
It's so simple. It's salt, pepper, a little bit of garlic powder, cooks it for low and slow, long time, gets a big fat crust on top that's really salty and delicious.
All about the crust.
It's all about the crust. The second you see somebody who got a brisket recipe that's got ketchup or Lipton's onion soup mix or Coke, right? It's okay, I'm sure it's great, but if you want barbecue brisket, just do it.
Yeah, the women in my family, you can skip over that last part. Just press that little circle with the 10.
Is that how they do
There's
it?
definitely some ketchup and some onion soup mix and some things. But I'm definitely a brisket purist. I prefer I want to taste the meat. I don't want to cover it in red sauce and
100%.
So the show's called Being Jewish. What does being Jewish look like for you, Duff Goldman, today as we sit here in 2025?
It's complicated,
Sure.
right? It's
Yeah.
complicated right now. The things about Judaism that really sort of resonate with me is truly sort of community focused we are, and what our families mean to us. Having strong family connections and family values are not exclusive to Judaism.
Of course.
Every culture has it, but I feel like it's something that, just as a people, we really it really means something to us. And like, it was taught to me by my great-grandparents, my grandparents, my parents. I'm teaching it to my daughter. It's something that's just really important to us. Good community, tzedakah, right? The concept of tzedakah. Everybody's got a foundation these days. Everybody's got the things that they do, and they're wonderful things. And I hope nobody ever stops doing them. But a lot of people definitely make sure that people see them doing those things.
Right.
And that's great. As long as those things are getting done, go for it, right? Keep doing it. Keep it going. But just the concept of just anonymously making the world better, not because you want people to see you doing it, not because you want some sort of accolade, but because it just makes the world better. I love that. I love that. It just really it resonates, because I don't want people to talk about me. I want them to talk about childhood hunger.
Yeah. On your website, you have, and this is unique to celebrity personalities, you have a giving back button that takes you to a page that says tzedakah on it. And with the quote, "I'm a cook who won the lottery. Seeing the effects this has had on everybody makes us want to give back. And every time we give, it makes us want to give more." And you've got 3 organizations there that people can donate to: No Kid Hungry, Make-A-Wish, and Save a Child's Heart, which I just did an event for, by the way. Amazing organization.
Amazing organization.
Yeah, like crazy. And I also didn't realize, briefly, Save a Child's Heart, they save children's hearts all over the world. Kids with congenital heart disease. And I didn't realize how niche pediatric cardiology is. Like, there's only a handful of these people around the world because it's such specialized training. So the fact that they're able to offer this to all these kids all over North Africa and the Middle East and all over the place is very special.
They are incredible people.
Yeah.
And the work that they do is, literally saving children's hearts.
Yeah.
It's just, God, they're really wonderful.
And so clearly children is a focus of where you want to be putting your tzedakah and your energy.
Yeah, adults are horrible, right? You get them while they're young, right? Get them while they're still good. You know what I mean? And they'll grow up good, But once you pass 18, it's like you're helpless.
I don't know. You're doing all right. No, of course. Why so kid focused? That's a beautiful thing. But what speaks to your heart so much about that?
I don't know. Probably a few things. I think I am one, and I know this about myself. Other people are, tell me often that I'm like a big 5-year-old, and I'm like, I am. I really am, and it's I don't know, I like it. It's the way to be. But I just, childhood is beautiful. When you're learning about the world, you're figuring out how things work, how things go. You're figuring out, what your tonality is, what's going to be your path in life.
Were you already a big supporter of these organizations before you became a dad yourself?
Oh yeah. I've been.
So I imagine that has to deepen your connection to these even more.
I did my first Make-A-Wish, and I was terrified. I'm like, what do I do? I have no. I don't know how to do this.
Right.
I've never done this before.
What did the child want to do with you?
She wanted to come to the bakery and hang out.
Just hang and see you guys doing what you do.
Yeah. So she came in, and then I quote, I interviewed her, and then we fake hired her and put her on the payroll, and then me and her went and did all the jobs in the bakery. So first we washed dishes, and then we baked some cakes, and we made buttercream. And then we went to all the different decorators that were all working on stuff, and we had a cake. I'm like, we have a cake that we have to make, the two of us. So we went to every station in the bakery and worked on our cake. And at the end, she realized it was for her. It was like her cake, and so she got it. And then, it was really beautiful.
What an experience!
It was
That's
really
unbelievable.
Cool.
I've also read that you have gotten shit on social media for being Jewish before.
All the time.
All the time. Okay.
All the time.
As
soon as I started sort of becoming, part of the zeitgeist, that stuff started creeping in. The first few times I was like, wow, that's amazing. I thought we were past this.
You're right.
But, we are not, are we? We are not.
Have you seen a spike in that in the last couple of years?
Yeah, I think, when Trump first got elected, I definitely noticed people felt a lot more emboldened to
100%.
just say the things that they're thinking about. And it's interesting. It's eye-opening, it really is, because you realize, like, not only is it's out there, anti-Semitism, racism, just, misogyny, I mean, all those things, they're there. They're always going to be there. And I think that, what we have to do as sort of a community is just really kind of start to soul search about how we respond to these things and how we deal with these things. And what are the ways that we can help people move beyond, provincial attitudes, to put it mildly.
Give me the recipe. What do you think we need to be doing more?
I think, being loud, being visible, making sure that everybody is seeing, like, oh man, like, I had this sort of vision of, like, Jews or this, or, Jewish people have this quality, or they're cheap, or they're whatever,
all the tropes,
the tropes, right? All those things. And they'd be like, oh wow, that guy Duff is Jewish, and he talks about it all the time, and he's pretty cool. Maybe those things aren't true.
Duff, that's what this show is all about. So we're very much aligned on that.
Cool, good.
I also read, in the same article that was telling me you got shit on social, that you got some shit as a kid too. And maybe...
Who did?
I didn't.
Really?
At all.
Did you grow up in, like, a pretty Jewish area?
I grew up here in L.A.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I grew up in a town. I was literally the only Jewish kid. No, there's two. There were two Jewish kids.
Was this in New England?
This is in New England. Yeah, it was like all Irish Catholic.
You don't hear great stuff about growing up Jewish in New England, I gotta say.
Things happen, I mean, I'd gotten a lot of fights. You had to, you got in fights a lot. But I like to think that none of it was malicious. None of the things that happened to me as a kid made any of the people that said them or did them irredeemable. And I feel like I did a pretty good job of, like, letting the people that sort of that would say things or, draw a swastika on something, letting them know that, like, you know what, man, like, it's just kind of lame. It wasn't mean. It was just the things that kids do to each other. We're constantly, especially in New England, every aspect of who you are is fair game.
Right.
It's just kind of how it goes. And, when you cannot allow the things that the people say and do to create hate in your heart for them, then you're already taken a step on the path of healing, right? On the path of forging that river between you, of, like, helping people understand, like, hey man, like, here's, like, I know why you think that about Jews. Like, let me tell you about it, and getting to the point. And I feel like I did that a few times and, like, changing people's minds. And it worked.
What does being Jewish look like for you as a dad and with your gorgeous 4-year-old girl?
4-year-old, 4.5. Just a minute. She's something else. My kid is, it's amazing. Like, every parent's like, oh my God, my kid's so special and amazing. And
they all are.
They are.
They really are.
And they really are. And, like,
and then we just mess them up. I mean, I feel like my job, well, not the parents, I hope, that I feel like my main job as a parent is to preserve my child through their childhood, like, as they are, and not let them get messed up by all the other stuff out there.
Yeah, but it's like, you also, like, you don't want to, like, cut them off from the world.
No, yeah, you have to help them navigate it, but in a way that allows them to retain who they are and not be changed by what they see in the world.
Yeah. My daughter has a very, very healthy skepticism about her, which is great, and I encourage it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I know you don't want to go to bed, and I'm, mazel tov for speaking your mind, but you're going to bed.
Yeah. Sorry. Good try. It was a good argument.
But, that's one of the things that I really, try to sort of foster in her is, like, I mean, we're Jews. We are constantly arguing. We wrestle with God. We wrestle with ourselves. We wrestle with our family. We wrestle with our neighbors. We're constantly questioning and talking and learning, and, we argue. but not just for the sake of, sometimes for the sake of argument, but most of it we're arguing for knowledge. We're arguing for for coming to consensus.
We say argument for the sake of heaven.
Interesting. I've never heard that.
Yeah, like that there's something so beautiful and holy in the arguing that it's finding something real in it. It's an important and good thing to do.
Wow.
Yeah,
I love that. Yeah, and it's that totally makes sense because that is what you're doing, right? When you're allowing discourse,
right.
I try to really encourage my daughter's natural curiosity, because I think curiosity leads to enthusiasm, and enthusiasm is that's the secret spice, man. That I tell you, like, enthusiasm will always win the day, more so than skill, more so than knowledge, more so than intelligence. Enthusiasm for whatever it is you're doing is going to take you wherever you want to go.
I think that's really wise. I mean, the charm that comes with enthusiasm, the way that the disarming that comes with enthusiasm, I think totally is great advice. Imagine owning a fully furnished $1.2 million apartment in Jerusalem. Beautifully designed, move-in ready, and complete with a large porch and sukkah. It's the perfect spot for your next visit to Israel, or even if you've been thinking about making Aliyah one day. That's what the Dream Raffle is all about. A nonprofit fundraiser where every ticket gives you the chance to win that dream apartment and support incredible programs that protect and strengthen Israel. Proceeds help fund programs like the Israel Dog Unit, whose volunteers carry out life-saving search and rescue missions. The raffle has already built Israel's first dedicated rescue center, supplied ATVs and emergency gear, funded a bulletproof ambulance for Sderot after October 7th, and continues to help Israeli farmers affected by terror and the BDS movement. And here's the best part. Every ticket you buy automatically earns you the same number of entries into a $15,000 bonus raffle at no extra cost. Use the code JONAH for double the tickets plus $10 off your order. The bonus raffle ends the last day of Hanukkah, Monday, December 22nd. So don't wait. 7 winners have already made their dreams a reality. You could be the 8th. Visit thedreamraffle.com, use code JONAH, and take your shot at owning your own piece of Jerusalem. And hey, if you win, save me a seat on that porch. I'll bring the hummus. What about in terms of like Jewish traditions that are some of your most important, most valued that you're passing down to her?
Man, we have a huge Seder every year.
That's
like
the big
really
one?
big, and it keeps getting bigger. Yeah, we haven't done Sukkot yet up there, but we will.
Oh, that'll be nice.
It's Topanga, right? It's perfect. But we have a really big Seder. We have a lot of people. A lot of them aren't Jewish. A lot of them are.
That's great.
Yeah, and it's really nice, and she gets to really understand sort of like where she comes from, who she is. She knows her grandma. She doesn't know her great-grandma. I was fortunate enough to know my great-grandma.
Which is rare. That's amazing.
Pretty rare.
I didn't know my great-grandparents.
Really?
Yeah.
And it's cool. I mean, she was, from Russia, fled the Cossacks and, early 1900s. And I knew her.
Yeah.
Right? Like I tasted her food. She cooked for me and made me a blanket. She was a weaver. Like,
wow.
she was cool. Yeah.
That's such a door into the past.
Yeah.
I mean, she was born in the 1800s.
She was.
It's crazy.
In another country.
Yeah.
Where like being Jewish was tough.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she was a tough lady. She came here. She was 14 by herself, got a job, ended up in Wichita, got a job as a weaver, ended up becoming a milliner, making hats. That hat store eventually became Henry's department store, which was a big,
Great.
Yeah, right. So they did okay. And, they made a little money and they had enough where my grandma was able to actually be like a fine artist, right?
Yeah.
Didn't have to work for a living. You know what I mean? She was
Yeah.
actually able to sort of practice art. And that sort of transition right there has really just informed who I am, who my mom is, who my brother is, and now who my daughter is, who's, really expressive and really good. And she's got the music in her too, man.
Oh, yeah?
She really, she's constantly humming and dancing and moving and listening.
Love that.
And she loves James Brown.
She got the
good.
soul.
She does. Yeah. Well, I'm making sure to Like I got to get through like in between like the Frozen soundtrack, the Moana soundtrack,
Yeah.
which are both great, right? The Moana
There's some good songs
soundtrack
in
is
there.
great.
A lot of people, and I don't know if you're among them, I sort of am, but turn more inward towards their faith when hardship strikes. Less than 2 years ago, you were hit by a drunk driver and had severe hand damage.
Yeah, it's gross.
I mean, that's the art maker, the money maker.
That's all I got.
Take me through that emotional journey.
You know, Topanga Canyon Boulevard, right? Very twisty, windy road. And like I could see, like, you know, I've driven that road 1,000 times, and I was like, that guy's going too fast. He's in our lane. We're about to get hit. And I just like ducked behind. I was in the back seat, and I like just ducked behind the passenger seat, and, you know, just braced, and man, we just big crazy wreck. Driver was okay. You know, and I got out of the car, and the other car was kind of down the street, and it was smoking and all this stuff. So I was running down there to, you know, pull that guy out of the car.
Wow.
And I like went to open the door, and that's when I sort of saw like my hand was, you know, pretty gnarly. But I didn't really think, so then just used my other hand, like got the guy out, and like, man, I smelled his breath, and I was like, ooh,
oh shit,
you're a bad man. You're a bad man. I was pretty mad. It just makes you appreciate the fact that our eyes are open.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm here today breathing and, you know, smelling Santa Monica, you know, and, you know, all the things, and sitting in traffic. Like, you know, I'm not going to get to experience that forever. And even, you know, sitting on the 405, it's still like, it's better than nothing.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Totally.
You host Kids Baking Challenge, which is a family affair in my house. We watch it, my wife and my third kid's 5 months, but the other two, we all watch it together.
Cool.
Love the kids bakers.
Yeah. There's something, man.
It's amazing. It looks like you're having a great time. They're having like literally the time of their lives. How much opportunity is there for you to like actually get to know and mentor these kids, or is it just the 2 minutes you're judging them that you get to interact?
Oh no, like where there's so much stuff that you see or that you don't see that's going on. I will stand behind the camera a lot of the times, and the kids are sort of melting down or, you know, freaking out. It's like, hey, you know, like, let me talk you through this. You know, let me first, okay, turn the stove off. That's burning. Move that to somewhere cool. Okay, now grab that towel, wipe this down. You know, here's how you're going to bring it back.
And these are young kids.
They're young kids. But man, they deal with it. Because you think about it. First of all, the stuff we're asking them to make is insane.
It's insane. They're like 9 years old.
Yeah, right. Eclairs, macarons, like things that really require a true understanding of technique. And these kids are 9 years old. They're doing it. Not to mention the fact that there are 50 cameras, a bunch of producers.
Right.
And all the producers are like asking them questions and talking to them and trying to get them to explain what they're doing. Because if you didn't, the kids would just sit there and cook the whole time.
Right.
The show would be boring. So you have all those people that are constantly like sort of nagging them, right? You got all the lights. You got all the sound guy. Oh, the sound guy needs to come over and fiddle with your mic. Oh, here comes the makeup. They got to come in.
And you're just trying to like make this eclair.
Right. You're trying to make it eclair, not burn yourself.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's all these other kids, and all the other kids are doing great. You're like, oh my God, I'm freaking out. Because
that's a lot.
It is a lot. And these kids just, like, they crush it. They absolutely crush it. They don't let it get to them. And it's tough. But man, seeing them do what they do, like being in the room and just getting to like be a fan and just watch it is so beautiful.
I wonder like what the academic research study would show of kids who have been on Kids Baking Championship, how they end up moving through life as adults, because you must just come out of there with so much confidence and like, I can do anything. If I could do this, it's like, what can't I do? I can handle it.
Totally.
You know, I'd be fascinated.
I think you're really onto something. You know, I think the kids go through this experience and they have friends for life, you know, and there are kids that were on season 1 that are now almost graduating college, and they all still talk. They all still hang
awesome.
out. And at this point now, there's like kids that are jumping from season to season, where there's like some kids were on season 13 and I was on season 14, and like they're friends.
I have to admit, we do tend to root for the Jonahs and the Levis and, you know, the tribe, members of the tribe.
Absolutely.
You know, you can't help it.
I'd like to see a little more babka on that show.
Yeah, let's go. Like, where's the challah challenge?
Right?
You know, bake a challah. That's hard.
Yeah,
babka.
Well, the thing about babka and challah is that they take too long. That's why you don't see them, right? You'll see black and whites.
How long does a babka take?
My babka takes 2 days.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it's a yeast bread, and basically the longer a dough exists before it's baked, the better it tastes. Right? So you make a dough, you let it sit in the fridge for a day. Pizza dough, it's actually a 3-day process. And that's when you really get bread that's delicious.
There's got to be an upper limit on that too, though, right? It's not like if you go a week, it tastes better than it did at 3 days.
Well, then you get sourdough. Right? And it turns, but there's there's some pretty special conditions that you got to keep, right? You got to keep it, at the right temperature so the yeast doesn't completely eat once the yeast eats all the sugar, then it all dies. It dies and you get mold and it's gross.
Some of the bakers on this show, it looks like their stuff is unbelievable. Like how great are the great looking ones actually, and how rough are the rough looking ones actually?
Generally speaking, 95% of the stuff is pretty good, right? Some of it's amazing. And I've had some transformative bites of things, across all these shows. Sometimes things go sideways.
Yeah, of course. But like the ones that are legitimately where you're judging and, on TV, we'd be like, this is one of the best cupcakes I've ever had. Or is it legitimately one of the best cupcakes you've ever had if you're saying that to this kid? Or are you building them up and it's like the best for a kid?
When I say it, I mean it, right? And that's why I don't say it very often. I'm not like, oh, this is the best chocolate chip cookie I ever had. It's not, right? I've had some really good ones. I make the best chocolate chip cookies I've ever had. It's true.
Yeah, I would hope so.
Right? But I make them the way that I like.
Exactly. You know what you're looking for in the cook.
Totally. But I hear sometimes some of the other judges, I feel like they say that a little too often. I'm like, make it mean something. You know what I mean? Like, tell them it's great. It's amazing. Right. Talk about the texture. It's delicious. But man, nothing's going to beat, your great grandmother's cookies, right? Nothing's going to beat that shop in your town. Nothing's like, that's that thing that, that really grabs you. So when I say it, I mean it. Truly.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Because you've said stuff like that more than once on the show.
I have. Yeah, I have.
You've said before that the kitchen being the center of the home is a very Jewish thing. And what do you think that says about Jews?
Well, we love to eat. We take
Everybody
it seriously.
Loves to eat.
Right? We love to eat. We do. We love to eat. But I think it's like the production of food is something that everybody's interested in. Everybody's part of it. Everybody has an opinion about it. That's not how you cut an onion, right? That's not how you roll a matzo ball. Those are going to be way too dense, right? There's all those things that, everybody's constantly thinking about. So whenever there's any kind of gathering, everyone just goes in the kitchen, right? Got this whole house, the whole outdoor space, all this stuff, and everybody is standing in my kitchen that's like, this big.
100%. Always.
Get out. Let me cook. You want to eat? Let me cook. It's but I love that. I love that people want to be in there, right? It's exciting. It smells good. There's interesting things that are happening. Food is being transformed into dishes, and I just took chicken fat and matzo meal and chicken stock and carrots, and I made this bowl of soup that's going to, knock your socks off. And I think people just really enjoy that. All of our holidays are centered around food.
Oh, yeah.
Passover, we celebrate Passover by eating. Mm-hmm. We celebrate Purim by having, groggers, but cookies, all these things.
How are your Hamantaschen, by the way?
Oh, come on. I have always loved the poppy seed prune Hamantaschen that a lot of people are like, I think we're a little averse to because it's weird.
It's certainly not as sweet as a strawberry one or an apricot one.
Yeah.
Man. But some people love the poppy seed.
I love the poppy.
What makes yours, top of the line?
The trick is you got to form your cookies while the dough is at the correct temperature. Can't be too hot because they're going to melt. Can't be too cold because they'll break. Right, and they'll fold. Has to be just the right temperature so the butter is soft enough that when you shape the cookie, it actually folds. It makes a curve instead of just snapping.
For me, the key Hamantaschen factor is the amount of doneness, like how crispy, like the crispy to chewy ratio. Like when they're too chewy and they're not browned enough, I'm not so interested in them. And if they're too cooked, then they, crack.
Yeah.
But if you get like the crust and the right crunch but still a little bit of chew, that to me that's the best version.
So I love that you said that, because the thing about all cookies across the board, I am not an absolutist, but every cookie requires nuance and a deftness of touch, where, a cookie is 5 ingredients, right? Whatever it is. And a cookie's going to be in the oven for 11 minutes, right? It doesn't bake for a long time, and it's not a lot of ingredients, which means to really create that texture, that bite, that flavor, whatever it is, the crispiness of the Hamantaschen, right? The crisp outside of a fudge crinkle cookie, but the brownie middle, right? To create that, you have to understand how to mix the dough, and you have to understand how to bake it. If that recipe says 325 degrees for 11 minutes and 15 seconds, that is what you do, because 12 minutes it's only 45 seconds, right? It's not a big deal. It is a big deal because if you're only baking something for 11 minutes, 45 seconds is a
massive percentage.
That's a big percentage of that 11 minutes. 10%
of the thing.
Right? So that right there is a difference between something that is sublime and beautiful and something that's mediocre.
Right.
Right? You got it.
Devil's in the details.
Yes, very much so.
All right, I'd be remiss if I didn't get into Ace of Cakes a
Sure.
little bit. The hometown HQ, Charm City Cakes in Baltimore. Speaking of Baltimore, I read that on the best things you ever ate, you gave a shout out to Edmart on Reisterstown Road. Shout out to Edmart.
No longer with us, unfortunately.
I know. I definitely had some Edmart in my childhood.
You did?
Well, yeah, because my dad's from Baltimore, so my uncle and my grandparents are from Baltimore, so I spent a lot of Jewish holidays in Baltimore.
Reisterstown Road?
Reisterstown Road, yeah. That's exactly right.
God. And the thing I loved about Edmart is every time we went in there, the most Jewish of Jewish things would happen, where my mom would argue with the guy about how to cook a brisket. It was amazing. I'm like, the chutzpah.
Well, hers is the best, apparently, so she knows a thing or
Edmart's
two.
was great. It wasn't my mom's.
There you go.
She didn't know what she was talking about.
Amazing. All right, so Charm City Cakes, kind of a groundbreaking show. I mean, was a groundbreaking show, sort of set the pace for all these other copycat shows and a whole cottage industry of cooking, reality, competition, all this stuff sort of began at Ace of Cakes. Could you feel that happening as that show was taking off?
No. I mean, we were like, I was, in my late 20s, early 30s, and, I had started that bakery in 2002 out of my apartment as a way to pay the rent while I was trying to become a rock star. Right. So I'm like, I was trying to play music full time, and I was like, all right, so I'm good at cakes. I can make cakes. I can sell them, and I'll make enough money to, put gas in the car and food in the fridge. And one day, soon I'll sign my big record contract. And
is this when your band was Foie Gras? Or that's a different band.
This was my emo band, 2 Day Romance.
2 Day Romance.
2 Day
Okay.
Romance. And so yeah,
I feel like that's like in like the Mad Libs of emo band names. It's like you have to have a number.
Yeah.
You have to have the word romance. Maybe a season or a length of time.
All my friends are musicians, and they all were like, "Hey, wait a minute! Like Duff goes on tour whenever he wants. I can, take a week off and record. I can go to practice any night of the week because I'm not on anyone else's schedule. I just have cakes that I have to finish by Saturday, right? But I got the whole week to do it." Right. So I can figure that out. So all my friends were like, I want to do that. So then I started hiring all these guys.
Not bakers, not trained.
No, but Jeff, who still works for me, he was building architectural models out of cardboard and paper and X-Acto knives and stuff. He was perfect.
I mean,
right?
That's exactly what you needed.
Yeah. So like he came in, and my buddy Chris, who was he was an incredible guitar player. He was my first like full-time baker.
Wow.
He never baked in his life, but he's a really smart guy. I showed him how to bake a cake, and he did it. And then showed him how to make buttercream, showed him how to ice a cake. He got better at it than I ever was. It was great. But like when we hired art school kids, it's like
that's when it went to the next level.
Our cakes just got like I hold this position, and I actually truly believe that within Charm City Cakes, I am the worst cake decorator. Everybody that works there is better than me.
Are you more of the imagination guy and like the team leader guy?
I'm like the diesel engine, right? I am the engine. I'm the thing that's keeping it going. That's sort of, fixing the things that are breaking as we're moving forward. I'm kind of the crazy weird mechanic guy that's running around the submarine, making sure that it doesn't sink. Like
Right.
that was my thing, I think. I mean, I'm not bad.
Of course. Yeah. you don't have to be the most technical. It's usually how it works, right? Usually you're not the most technically proficient one.
No.
You're the best at keeping the team together and being the ideas guy and making things go. And then you find people who are better at some of the other things than you are.
100%.
Yeah.
And now things are great because I actually found people that know how to run a business.
It's a whole different skill set.
It's a whole different skill set that
You
I
either
don't
know
have.
how to do it or you don't.
Yeah.
Did you ever get to do fun Jewish themed cakes?
Definitely did a lot of Torahs, right?
A lot of Torahs.
Yeah, we still do, right? We still make the Torah, the Torah sheet cake. But they got better over the years. They definitely got cool.
Now you've got like full text, Hebrew text on the Torah.
Full hand-painted Hebrew text, like the embroidery on the outside.
Wow.
Really, like what's the finger thing
The
called?
yod.
The yod, right? So we would do like edible yod.
That's cool.
Right, you like make it out of candy, and we have silver and food coloring that's like really chrome, that really is shiny. That so I mean, we'd really we'd make it.
That's why you go to the Jewish baker. You get the authenticity. You get the yod with your Torah cake.
Totally.
You're about to open something. Your first restaurant.
It's a deli.
Duff's Deli and Market in the Atlanta airport.
Yeah.
What's the key to a good deli? Like, what do you bring into the deli scene that we've not seen?
Most people haven't seen what a real delicatessen is like, right? Not a deli, a DELLY deli, right? That sells burgers and
Right.
That's not like, this is a real deli. Hot pastrami, Reubens, corned beef, brisket, black and whites, babka, like matzo ball soup, all the things, really good pickles. That's what we are bringing.
And are you doing that all in the restaurant, in the airport? You're bringing stuff in? How does it work?
You bring a lot of stuff in. I mean, like the logistics of running an airport restaurant are crazy.
I would imagine.
You figure them out, right? And there's definitely, there are ways to do really good food in the airport, but you got to do it. You got to commit to it.
All right. And are you open yet, or when do you open?
I think we open on my birthday, December 17th.
That's an awesome birthday present.
I'll spend my birthday in the Atlanta Hartsfield Jackson Airport, right?
Any of your family recipes ending up in this deli?
So when my mom makes a brisket,
Right.
At the end of the meal, if there's anything left, I keep it. And then the next day, I take all that brisket and I chop it up really pretty fine, and I fry it in butter. And then you add just enough barbecue sauce to let it glisten, not too much, right? And then you take white bread, butter it, 2 pickles, and a little bit of chopped white onion and the brisket, and that's it. That's the entire sandwich. It is so good.
When this episode airs, we will be approaching a very important food holiday of Thanksgiving, which will be days away.
Yeah.
Do you host Thanksgiving every year?
Our Thanksgiving is going to be really big. So my wife's mom married a guy here in LA, Tommy.
Shout out to Tommy.
He's like the best father-in-law you could ever ask for.
Awesome.
Like,
I don't know.
he
My
plays
father-in-law is
guitar,
going to
really,
have something to say about it, but yeah.
He plays guitar. I play bass. He's got a whole.
Do you guys jam?
Yes.
That's
got a
cool.
jam room in his house. His son plays. A lot of the other kids in the family play. They're all Japanese. There are some of the family members play like taiko drums.
Whoa.
Some of them play the koto.
Okay.
Like there are lots of musicians. Really big. It's a big family, and they've been in California for 5 generations. Like Tommy's dad was born in Manzanar, which is really interesting.
What's Manzanar?
Manzanar was one of the Japanese internment camps.
Oh, wow.
And we have had a lot of conversations about sort of the parallels of, being Jews and, the Japanese American experience too. It's been absolutely fascinating to learn.
That's so interesting.
Yeah. So every holiday, everybody jams. It's just like a thing.
Okay. That's awesome.
It's pretty great.
That is a blast.
It is pretty great. So our Thanksgiving is like, there's a lot of Japanese folks. There's a lot of Jewish folks. Then now this year, another buddy of mine is coming. He's gonna be cooking too. He's a very well-known chef too. It's gonna be great. His food's incredible.
Can we know who it is?
Michael Voltaggio.
Oh, sick.
But then he's got some Lithuanian in his family now. And so there are a bunch of Lithuanians that are coming. So they're going to be all making dumplings and cabbage and all the things you cook in Lithuania that I am so excited about. So our Thanksgiving is like I grew up in New England. So like my mom makes an oyster stuffing just for me because I'm the only one that likes it. We will have a brisket. We're going to have a ham. We're going to have a turkey. We're going to have a ton of the traditional sort of, Thanksgiving foods. My mother-in-law thinks it's funny because my mom always wants a ham because we when I got to college, I'm like, wait, I can eat all the bacon I want.
Were you guys kosher growing up?
Not really, but
you just didn't do it.
It was one of those things. Yeah, totally. So my mom wants a ham, so there's going to be a ham there. And then there's a lot of Japanese food, right, that everybody brings. So it's like a big sort of potluck. Now we're going to get not only Michael Voltaggio's, world famous cuisine, but all the Lithuanians bringing all their stuff. It is going to be such a hodgepodge of different dishes.
Sounds
all of
awesome.
It's going to be great.
I had Gail Simmons on the show a year ago talking about Thanksgiving.
Really?
And I said it then and I'll say it again that I am so not a fan of Thanksgiving food. They're like a lot of my least favorite foods in one holiday. And I would so much rather be eating Japanese and Lithuanian food with my Thanksgiving meal than just the straight up American white dry dishes.
Turkey's lame.
Turkey's lame.
It's just turkey.
I mean, I don't mind the leg. Like the leg's a good time, but like the rest of it, it's like, all right. What are you most thankful for this year?
I'm, most thankful just for the 5 years that I've been able to spend with my daughter. The 10 years that I've known my wife. They've been the best. Like every single day. I feel like, honestly, every day is the happiest I've ever been because I feel like I'm happier than I was yesterday.
That's awesome.
Truly,
yeah.
And I
believe it.
I tell them all the time, I'm like, and like I've seen, I've had we've all had some darkness in our lives, right? We all get those we all get that. We go through stuff, tough things. And, when you sort of when you come out of the other side of addiction and you are, unbound and unfettered by, because that's the thing about addiction. It's like you are enslaved to something, you are powerless. And when you finally, after however many years, you get through it, right? And you're on the other side of it, it's just like,
new lease on life.
You use it, right? You hold on to it. You don't. It's something in your past, but it's something that you appreciate about yourself that you did go through those things. Because man, it just like every time when you drive down the 10 and the 10 becomes the PCH, you go through that magic tunnel.
Yeah, we always prep my kids. We're like, get ready.
Here it comes. And just the vista of just Santa Monica. And it's just like, wow, I live here. That's great, And it's not just that I live in a beautiful place, with a nice climate. It's just that I'm alive, That's been around.
Oh, yeah.
I've been noticing more and more that there's like a good amount of dead people in my phone. There's like numbers of like, oh man, that guy's dead, right? This guy's dead.
You don't get rid of them.
No.
You hold on to the numbers.
Yeah, you do. Because every time
it's a nice reminder.
It is. There's my buddy Greg. And I think about man, we were 16. We each drank a 12-pack. And we were just all that crazy stuff, and you sort of remember those things. And, I think it started the first death I felt that really kind of impacted me was my grandmother, my mom's mom, the artist. We were really tight. She was a tough lady. She was
How old are you?
When she died, I was 25, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah. But she, she was tough. She didn't get along with a lot of people, but like her and I we had a connection, like she understood me. I think she saw that I also had that weird thing that makes people make things. And, it was hard. It was hard when she died. And she was one of the people that I would share with. She was kind of like when something cool was happening, or I'd make something cool and I'd send her a picture like, yo, check out, I made this thing. And, she would give me like sometimes too honest feedback, because that's what she did. She was an artist, and she's like, you want to get better at this, then, this is what's wrong with it. You know what I mean? You have to, understand that. And she really taught me that, which is cool. But now I'll make something cool. And every single time, like, man, I wish I could tell Nana, but, she's dead. But the thing is like, I know what she would say. And so I think about her and I have that conversation of, this is what I could do better. This is what's cool about this. And next time I make it, I know I'm going to watch out for this thing, and, all that stuff. So all those numbers in my phone and thinking about my grandma, I'm like reminded of, those people that were here. Well, I'm not going to be here one day. My daughter's not going to be here one day. Her grandchildren are not going to be here one day. It's part of it. And, I don't know. I think I've always had like a pretty healthy attitude towards death. It's something that like, it's just sort of around. And, when you just kind of, accept it, smile at it, know it's coming, stop thinking about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Totally.
Yeah.
All right. We're now going to get into a new segment called 5 Deep Questions. If you want to hear the 5 Deep Questions, jump over to beingjewishpodcast.com, click community, and sign up for our Challah. That's Hebrew for community. That's where these 5 deep questions will always be from here on out. So if you want to hear me go deep with Duff Goldman, jump over there. Now we're going to bring it on home with a little game that we did last season with a guy named Chris Kersnan. I don't know if you've come across him online. He's now known as the Babka King. He's awesome. You should check him out.
Yeah, well, tell the Babka King there's a new sheriff in town.
Oh, let's get that going.
I'm kidding.
That would be a good time. He doesn't make the babkas, he eats them.
Oh, I got to send him one.
You got to send him a babka. The game we came up with for him was, it's like Do, Dump, or Marry. Do you know that game?
No.
Also known as Kill, Fuck, Marry.
Right.
Yep.
Got it.
But our version for food is house it, taste it, toss it.
House it?
Yep. Taste it, toss it.
Gotcha.
House it, taste it, toss it. We'll start with an easy one. Chocolate, vanilla, strawberry.
Are we talking about like within some sort of frozen dairy concoction?
However you take it in, just the base flavor of something.
Vanilla means something to me. It really does. I just, it's one of the most subtle, mysterious.
See, growing up, I always thought vanilla was the blandest and the lamest, and I was like, chocolate, chocolate, chocolate. Now that I'm older, I've come to very much appreciate vanilla.
The chocolate's great too.
Chocolate's great.
Chocolate's great. I guess you got to toss the strawberries on.
Okay, but which one are you housing? Chocolate or vanilla? Vanilla you're going to house.
I'm probably going to house the vanilla.
Okay, nice. All right, stroopwafel, snickerdoodle, fluffernutter.
Okay, toss the snickerdoodle.
Bye.
Taste the stroopwafel. House the fluffernutter.
Yeah. Cookie dough, cookie butter, cookie crisp.
Toss the cookie butter.
Wow.
Yes.
Oh, I love cookie butter.
That's great, but of those 3, right? Taste the cookie dough and house the cookie crisp.
You love cookie crisp?
Best.
I used to love the commercials when I was a kid. Cookie crisp.
That's right.
The burglar dog.
I'm
the burglar guy. Mascarpone, mascarpone, mascarpone.
Okay. Toss mascarpone.
I know, right?
Just come on.
Read the letters.
Not that hard. Taste mascarpone. Giada De Laurentiis is a dear friend of mine. I love her. She loves me. We are friends. We talk. I
love this disclaimer.
I think she's great.
Yeah.
But so you go to the market and you get yourself a nice salami, right? It's jarring.
Totally agree.
It's 100%, a salami.
Right.
I'm American.
Right.
This is my accent, and I say salami.
Yep. I love that. Brisket, chopped liver, matzo ball soup.
Toss the chopped liver.
to Sophie's choice here.
Yeah, man. Brisket's so visceral, but like matzo ball soup is just so essential to my soul.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll say I'm going to house the matzo ball.
Okay.
Okay.
Are your matzo balls sinkers or floaters?
Floaters, and they're big.
And they still float, nice and airy, light.
Yes, very. You got to really gently, very gently. Can't mess it.
And do you use club soda?
No.
No.
Mm-mm.
I always hear on TV, everyone's always cooking with the club soda.
Schmaltzele. The schmaltz. You cannot make a good matzo ball without schmaltz. They're just not good.
You heard it here. Pumpkin pie, apple pie, cherry pie.
Toss the pumpkin.
Oh, sorry, Thanksgiving.
Taste the cherry. House the apple. But it's got to be Dutch apple with the streusel on top.
What does that mean?
So Dutch apple pie is not like pie dough on top. It's streusel.
Okay.
It's got like the crunchy
sort of like
stuff.
open-faced, but with streusel on top.
With the
Right,
streusel.
right.
Yeah.
Duff till dawn, Duff takes the cake, or Duff's happy fun bake time.
Duff's happy fun bake time.
That's your your house?
That's the one, man.
I figured. I mean, that's you getting to like be a kid and play with Muppets.
It was so great to have an idea of like, oh, you know what would be cool? And then like coming up with a script and drawing pictures of creatures that
You
want.
design them?
Yeah.
Cool.
And then bringing that to the Jim Henson Company and being like, hey, I got this idea. Showing them what your idea was and them saying, yeah, we want to make that. And then they go out and sell it and get someone to agree to pay for it. And then I get to go to the Jim Henson Creature Shop and watch the same people that made the Skeksis from the Dark Crystal and made Kermit and Miss Piggy and, you know, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. The people that made all of those things, making the things that I drew pictures of and making them in real life and handing me the remote so I could make the mouth open or the arms move or whatever. It was the most humbling but like satisfying thing that I've ever done.
Wow. All right, the question that we ask all of our guests, it happens to be on my shirt, which you can get, by the way, at beingjewishpodcast.com. Challah, do you rip it or do you slice it?
Rip it.
I don't even know why I bother asking anymore. Everybody rips it. I thought it was like a thing, but like apparently it's like, you know, it's like a 90 to 10 rip to slice.
When you go to rip it and it doesn't rip the way it's supposed to,
that's,
you're like,
I'm gonna eat a little. This is a ceremonial bite.
think of when you rip it, a good chunk of it has to come with
pull.
it. You need to have like comet. You need to
the strands.
It's got to come off. There's got to be a little bit of layers, a little bit of like almost like shale, like flakiness to it. You know, layers on that inside, right? It's got to kind of come apart. When you pull it off and it literally just kind of breaks off a little bit, you're just like,
How often are you baking challah?
oh.
And how is your challah?
I mean, it's not bad.
I would eat it.
It's pretty,
Duff Goldman challah.
It's pretty good.
I know you do gold bell. You gotta get a challah on there, man.
I do some cool shapes too. I do like these really cool stars, and I make these like little roses on the inside.
Can we get like a Goldman holiday pop-up for some challahs or something?
That'd be great.
Would be awesome.
That's not a bad idea. A couple hundred babkas, you know, probably do like 1,000 black and whites.
You'll
You know
sell
what I
out in
mean?
10
Yeah.
minutes.
My mandel bread is ridiculous. Have you ever had mandel bread? We're like, wow, that was great.
Yes.
Yeah.
My grandma made pretty good mandel bread.
Okay, sure.
But like never where I was like, this is ridiculous.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I like mine is like
That one, it's always like all about the texture. Is it going to be too hard, or is it going to have a little bit of that sandy quality?
Yeah, little tiny soft right there in the middle, crusty on the outside. Yeah, totally.
All right. Well, I think we're onto something here.
I like it.
We'll promote the shit out of it on here as long as I get a cookie and a challah.
We need a minion
Of
chefs.
bakers?
Yes. Right? We got to get
Shouldn't
a
be too
minion,
hard.
right?
There's so many.
Not just bakers, just like anybody, right? Just, you know, savory, sweet, everybody. And
The great
get
Jewish
them all together, you know.
holiday baking extravaganza.
We could do like, we'll do not a night market. We'll do like a after services Sunday market.
That's right.
Right? We set up, you know, we'll set up a bunch of trucks in a parking lot somewhere.
Shabbos lunch.
That'd be great. Who's got good fish? Cimarusti. Cimarusti's got good fish.
Russ and Daughters.
Russ and Daughters. I'll see about like LA folks. Russ and Daughters. Why don't they open here? Wouldn't that be great?
There's got to be one here soon.
God, amazing.
All right. The wheels are turning.
Cool.
Duff, thank you so much, man.
Thanks for
This has
having
been
me.
such a pleasure, and can't wait for the Shabbos lunch extravaganza.
Oh, that'd be great.
Massive thank you again to Duff Goldman for hanging out with me today and for giving us all permission to play with our food a little bit, even though he didn't bring me a giant cake with moving parts. And you at home, please, if you're listening, head over to YouTube, subscribe, like, and share. And if you're watching on YouTube or JBS, please head over to Apple Podcasts and subscribe. We really need those numbers to keep the show going. Thank you. And don't forget, if you want to hear today's 5 Deep Questions with Duff Goldman, enjoy monthly hangouts with me, join our BJJP community forum, and a lot more, head on over to beingjewishpodcast.com, click on community, and sign up to join the Kehillah. Can't wait to have you. All right, I'll see you all right back here for the next freshly baked episode of Being Jewish with me, Jonah Platt.